Have you ever considered the potential pitfalls of too much kindness in the age of the internet, when the world is at our fingertips and kindness is often championed as the ultimate virtue? It may sound strange, right? Fellow Stoics, join me in recognizing an ancient lesson that our modern quest to be the kindest version of ourselves can elude. Wise old souls from Greece and Rome advised staying strong, but also reminded us to focus on virtue and the fact that all good things, like generosity, can be taken to excess. Now, before you raise your eyebrows and delve into depth, let's take a deep dive into the teachings of Stoicism, inspired by sages like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Let your kindness overflow in the process. We will discover how we stumble. I challenge you to navigate the complex dance of virtue together, finding the sweet spot between too little and too much. A challenge for friends seeking wisdom. To avoid falling into the unexpected traps of overgenerosity, stay with me, because sometimes the deepest lessons come from the most unexpected places. The trick has happened to many of us, haven't you? A friend is in a meeting and someone is talking about moving house next weekend. Before you know it, your hand is up and you say you will help, but on an internal level, you are already busy with your own business. Since the Stoics believe in living in accordance with nature, this means that going beyond our own limits is just pushing ourselves. It means understanding that it's not just about being honest with ourselves, it's about being honest with ourselves. Think of life as a teacup. Every commitment, every promise is a drop of tea. If you pour too much, the cup will overflow and make a mess. The Stoics said to know the size of your cup. It's not about rudeness. Be kind to yourself first. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't help your friend move, but maybe you could offer to help pack a few boxes instead of taking a whole day. Small gestures are often the most meaningful, and they're much more manageable. Remember that time you promised to help at school? You attended a birthday party, and your grandma was ill one day. When you visited, I was probably exhausted and angry you did not attend the events. This is excessive commitment. It teaches you to stop and think about your own capabilities before making a promise next time. This is not selfishness, but a logical behavior. Two people do not always try to make everyone happy. The desire to be liked by everyone is a trap that most of us fall into. You say yes, you laugh at jokes you don't find funny, and you agree with opinions you don't share. But Stoicism teaches us that we can't control other people's opinions. So why try to please people? It may seem like a form of politeness, but it's actually related. I once knew a lovely man who would go to great lengths just to get approval. One day he wore a t-shirt he didn't like because a friend gave it to him as a gift. He spent the whole day feeling uncomfortable to avoid upsetting his friend. The interesting thing is that his friend didn't even notice this detail. Believe me, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. A saying like, "You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink," reflects the philosophy of Stoicism. This idea reflects the philosophy that we cannot control others. It indicates that we can control our reactions to them, yet most of us try to fix people with our big and kind hearts. We think our love, advice, and guidance can change them. While everyone is on their own journey, we cannot walk in their path. Remember, everyone has their own choices and learning processes. Stoics focus on our actions and control everything, but sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to step back and let people make their own choices, even if there are mistakes. Allowing others to use you is a beautiful expression of kindness, but like all good things, too much of it can be harmful. When we are always available and always understood, people can make it a habit. It may not always be intentional, but remember Lucy in the office. She always brought homemade treats. At first, everyone was grateful, but over time, it became an expectation. One day when she brought nothing, poor Lucy felt unappreciated and hurt. The Stoics teach us about the impermanence of everything. We must not become too accustomed to constant acts of kindness from others, just as we become too attached to external rewards. On the other hand, if we are always the giver, we are not valued. We must make sure we are not taken for granted. It is a matter of balance. Be truly kind, but also set boundaries. Your kindness to people should let them know it is a gift, not an obligation. In our efforts to be kind to others, we often ignore our own needs, and in this case, we forget to look within ourselves. Putting the needs of others before our own often makes us think that this attitude is virtuous, but Stoicism reminds us of our own self-neglect. How can we be of service to others if we neglect ourselves? Think of a car. How can you carry others if you don't refuel? You'll end up stranded. Constantly putting others first is the same thing. You'll eventually burn out. My friend Alex was always there for everyone. He always put himself last until one day he was exhausted and felt unappreciated. So take time for yourself. This is not selfishness. On the contrary, it is necessary. The Stoics knew the importance of thinking and taking time for oneself. After all, a well-groomed soul is better prepared to deal with the challenges of the world. If you have made it this far, it shows that you are determined to improve yourself. Please stay with me until the end, because the last 3 insights are much more important. Avoiding disagreements, no matter what, is often uncomfortable and disliked by people. Therefore, in order to be kind, we often keep our thoughts to ourselves and withhold our feelings. However, being Stoic can teach us that sometimes disagreement is necessary. Avoiding disagreement may seem kind in the short term, but it may lead to bigger problems in the future. Small inconveniences may turn into deep disappointments without being addressed, and emotions may cause misunderstandings. For example, consider a situation with your roommate's dirty dishes. Initially, you might view it as a polite gesture to clean up after him, but over time, this situation may start to bother you and eventually become a point of contention. Stoics believe in the importance of direct confrontation. Addressing problems before they escalate can lead to more positive results for both you and others in the long run. On the other hand, while generosity is a virtue, like any virtue, we can go overboard in our efforts to be kind. This can lead to a constant drain on your financial resources. Eventually, you may find yourself in financial distress, making it difficult to help others. The Stoics believed in the importance of moderation, emphasizing the need to find a balance between giving and preserving. I once met a woman named Sarah who always lent money to friends she wanted to help, and it made her feel good. However, over time, she found herself struggling financially. When she needed help, she couldn't locate the people she had assisted before anywhere. This was a painful lesson, but an important one. Be generous but also smart. Before helping others, ensure your own needs are met. It's about sustainability. Seeking approval and perceiving kindness in the digital age have become crucial as we evolve the way we express these virtues. Many individuals influence those who engage in acts of kindness. However, as Marcus Aurelius once noted, it is crucial to act with genuine compassion rather than engaging in debates about how a person should exhibit goodness. The wisdom of the time reminds us that true virtue lies in our actions, not in discussing whether we should perform them. Sharing our acts of kindness can inspire others, but when kindness becomes a transaction, it is important that our intentions remain authentic and aligned with the true purpose of helping. The Stoics taught us to focus on the intrinsic value of our actions rather than seeking external approval. Embracing the true essence of virtue for our own inner well-being guides us along the winding path of kindness with its unexpected twists and turns. This ancient wisdom continues to prove its validity over the years. Friends, As we stand at the intersection of thought and action, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.